Okay, I've read the first 50 pages of Shield of Sparrows and I am instantly intrigued in this one. Very happy I decided to start this vlog with it. Honestly, I don't remember what the synopsis of this, but so far we're following our main character who is being sold off as a bride. She's always thought her sister was going to marry the king of Tarath, I think is what it is. Maybe I said that wrong. But when the Prince of Tarath comes and seeks his bride, he chooses her instead of her sister. Her sister has been training her whole life to be a warrior and to be a spy, and this is something just thrown upon our main character, and now she is being told things that she needs to do by her father that she doesn't think she can do. She doesn't think she'll be a good spy. She doesn't think she'll be a good assassin. She really just thinks she's gonna go die over there. I have been eating this up. I love our main character's consciousness. Like, I really like being in her head. I think she's funny, she's snarky, she's witty, she's smart, but she's also like very self-aware, and I really like that like self-aware aspect. I think that she's kind also. I've really just enjoyed being within her head. I really like the writing style of this. It feels very polished. I've had really good luck with romance authors turning to romantasy these days, and I think that Devney Perry is also going to be another hit out of the park for me. I think that she's gonna be good. Also, the other day on Sprints, I told people that I love to be degraded by fictional men, and Jonathan was like, you have to read this. So I'm very excited to get to that part because, like, I love me a bully romance. I love fictional men to tear me to pieces. Yes, I self-insert myself into these. It is what it is. Very, very excited. I really do like the world building and like the monsters in this. Very, very intrigued. Okay, I have made it to chapter 29, so I'm pretty much 50% into this, and I'm liking it enough. I was really, really vibing at the start, but currently I'm struggling with the pacing a little bit. There is a decent stretch of time where it's just like travel, monster attack, travel, training, travel, monster attack, travel, training, like, and it just like repeats the cycle. And so like that was not really working for me. I was like, okay, I want more from this than just that. I do think that the monsters themselves are really, really cool. I think a lot of people comp this to The Witcher, and I think that's where the comparisons come in. I personally have not read or watched The Witcher. I did watch the like 4-part prequel thing, but I actually ended up never watching the actual Witcher series. And now, why would I, right? The changes that were made, why would I? So I think that that's why they're compared to that, and I do really like that. I like learning about these monsters that are blended with these animals and how these people are surviving. I think that part's really interesting. I think that I just want something different from the pacing and the repetitiveness. I hope that we're getting there. It seems to be moving on from just that day-to-day life, and I kind of want a little bit more from the romance. It's falling just a little flat to me. I think it's because I have a prediction, and I've had a prediction since like chapter 2 of what I think like the big reveal and the twist is, and because I'm like 99.99999% sure that I'm correct, I'll be literally flabbergasted if I'm not. I think I'm just waiting for it. Like, I'm kind of just bored by not getting it because I think it would make the story a little bit more interesting, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like the final reveal in the book, so like I get it, but it's just like slowing it down for me because I'm like, okay, like how does she not see this? Like, I see it, how does she not see it? Also, if I was in her shoes, I would be oblivious. And I want more from the side characters. I feel like we're getting glimpses of them, and so I'm excited to get that as the story progresses. But right now, this book at 50% is really lacking good side characters that I actually care about. Like, I don't really care if anything happens to a character right now in this book, and something I love is like found family elements and things like that. And I think I could get there. Like, I think I see the potential. Like, I'm not writing this off yet. Like, it could be a 5-star still, but these are just like the small things that will prevent it from being a 5-star if I don't get those in that latter half. But like, a fantasy book is slow sometimes at the start and can really grip me in that latter half, so that's like really, really what I'm hoping for. Either way though, like, I'm enjoying this enough that it will be a 4-star. Like, right now my feelings on it are a 4-star, and if it continues where it's at, it'll be a 4-star at the end, and if it just gets better, it'll be a 5-star. Does all of that make sense? I don't know. Well, I've had a stressful couple days, so I am excited to get back into reading. I put an offer on a house. Me and Nick put an offer on a house last night. We did not get it, and it was definitely the most stressful thing. This is the second house we've put an offer on, and we've been looking for a year and a half now. Obviously we're picky, but like, we're living at home, so we're in no rush, and we're trying to find like the right one for us. We thought that house was the right one. We put a pretty competitive offer in, but we still didn't get it, and that's like, okay, it just wasn't meant to be. Definitely bummed a little bit. There are positives and negatives though. I was not looking forward to leaving the 2 kittens here because they are my parents' cats, and so I will have to leave them when I move out. Positive, I will get my own 2 little kittens when I move move out. And obviously I'm very excited to live with Nick. I have been dating him for 8-9 years. I don't know when we started dating. So we've been dating a long time and we both still live at home, and it'll be very exciting when we finally buy a house to like progress our relationship a little bit and like get to that new stage of life, but also very scary because I say that I'm a child still. I still live at home in my parents' basement. I'm literally their child. I'm their responsibility still. But when I move out, I feel like I have to be an adult and I have adult responsibilities. So the child I am is gonna go back to reading my story. Okay, we have some book updates. First off, Shield of Sparrows, I finished this. I'm giving it 4 stars. There was a lot to love about this, in my opinion. I understand why everyone is giving it 5 stars. I think it's going to take the world by storm. It is The Witcher with a enemies to lovers romantasy element to it. Like, I get it. It was just the things I talked about in my last clip for me. The pacing was a little bit off. It just felt a little bit slow. I think it felt a little repetitive in its nature, which I think will work for a lot of people because it means a lot of small character moments, but the things that interested me weren't necessarily the things we were getting. And I do think that it's a lot less political than I thought it was going to be with this arranged marriage and being a bride because of a treaty. I definitely was expecting the politics to have a lot more of an impact in this, and I think they could in later books, and I'm really excited for later books. This is one of the most unique worlds I've read in a romantasy setting, even in a fantasy setting, for a really long time. I understand the hype on this one. I like it. I'm going to be recommending it. It's a 4-star, and I feel like I've just had so many 5 stars that this feels like a little bit more disappointing, but like a 4 star is a solid recommendation for me. It's a solid read for me. 4 stars can make it all my favorites of the year if they just stick with me. So like, don't think I didn't like this, because I did. I really did. I think there's so many enjoyable things about it. I think the world created here was very lush and beautiful. I loved the monsters, and I did like our 2 characters. I think the romance was a little bit too sweet for me, even though he definitely made fun of her a little bit and like they had some banter. He was very, very, very sweet too quickly, I think, for me. I feel like the romance was predictable for me, which a lot of romance that I do love is predictable. So like, it's just about how much I was engaged in a story of whether the predictability bothered me or not. A lot of the story was predictable, and I think because the pacing was slower and I was just kind of like losing it at times, that's why those moments stood out to me as being like, I wish that we would get the pace going so that the predictability was just like a fun ride almost. But I still like really, really was engaged with the story. I didn't want to put it down still. Like, I still really did enjoy my time, even in the moments where I was like, okay, I'm a little bit more bored. I really would like this to like stop being repetitive and like things like that. I still like wanted to know what was happening. I still wanted to learn about this world and the beings and the friendships. I do wish we had a little bit more interactions with side characters. They did not affect me the way I wanted them to. I think that was a big issue. I think that the focus is really on their 2 main characters in this one. There are side characters that we do meet. I just feel like I never really got to be attached to them. Besides one. There's one character in this that I was definitely attached to, but I knew nothing could come to her. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued for book 2, especially with the ending of book 1. And I will be putting it on my most anticipated for next year, that's for sure. You definitely should pick this up. You're gonna see me screaming about this. Like, you are gonna see me recommending this quite a bit. Not every book can be 5 stars, and that's okay, but a 4 star is still a solid book that knocked it out of the park for me. So we're moving on to another really hyped book that I've been seeing everywhere. Not in the way this is, because it's in a different circle. This is a romantasy, so obviously screaming about it, and it's from a best-selling romance author, so like those circles have really been screaming about this. And then my more fantasy leaning circles have been screaming about The Raven Scholar, saying this is going to be the next big fantasy book, and so I have to try it. I do have an ALC of this through Libro FM. Shout out to Libro and what they do, how they support local libraries, and how they're also supporting us content creators and authors and things like that. Go them. If you can, you should support them. So yeah, I have an ALC of this, so I'm gonna listen to the audiobook even though this is currently out. I literally slipped on my way home today and went to the bookstore and bought it. My car just slipped to the wrong turn, you know? And so I am not super far in. I'm on to part 2. I think I'm about 70 pages in. Part 1 instantly hooked me. I was very, very much engaged in that story of the 2 twins and things like that, and shooketh by how that went down, because I was not expecting that, because obviously we started within their POV. Shooketh by that, and very, very intrigued to keep going. I'm gonna spend today cleaning a little bit because I do go to Mexico on Sunday and I would like to come back to a clean space. So we're gonna clean and listen to the audiobook of this, and I'm gonna tell you if this is worth it. I went on a little errand run and a little drive today because we have a dirty soda shop, well, truck here, and I tried it for the first time last year and absolutely obsessed with dirty sodas and have been making them at home. But the shop truck, it's like a food truck but for dirty sodas, is always on the west end or the north end of my city, and that's like 45 minutes away from me, so I don't really get to go very often. But today they had a south side location, which was 10 minutes away from my house, 5 minutes away from the errands I was doing, so of course I had to go. I got the Dr. Feelgood, which is Dr. Pepper with cherry and cheesecake in it, and then I also add some cream because I do like the creaminess with my pop. Obviously I've been chugging it, it's so good. And now I'm back. I've been listening to the audiobook for The Raven Scholar. This book has gone downhill for me. I'm unsure about what I'm doing currently. I'm on page 243, chapter 26. I feel like I was bamboozled about what I thought this was going to be. My own fault for kind of going into this blind. I had obviously seen the hype in the fantasy community about it, so I just was like, I'm gonna like it. And a couple people that I trust their taste in had also liked it. So I just kind of picked it up and I didn't actually read anything about it. I just knew there was trials in it. That's like the only thing I knew. And so when I read part 1, I was like, oh my god, this is the type of book I'm obsessed with. I thought it was going to be like The Poppy War or Along the Razor's Edge, where we have a woman scorned for some reason. I literally thought we were going to follow this young woman who has been through some prejudice because she is the trader's daughter. She still has her dad's colors, and she was going to get her revenge and rebel as she trained up in the ranks to be like better than the rest of them and prove to them that she is worth it, even as the trader's daughter and all the things they've thrown at her. That's what I thought this book was going to be. So that's why I ran and I picked it up and bought it yesterday. And I have been so good at my book buying. I actually went to film a haul today because this time last year I did film a haul. I filmed a haul where I bought like 75 plus books last year. I'm not filming a haul right now because for my personal taste and my personal way I like my content to be, I prefer like bigger hauls. So I like wait for them to like pile up and then I just do one big haul. I have less than 20 books that I've purchased this year, which is really good for me. I've been very, very aware of my spending habits. I have been trying to have this look like a collection of things I literally love. Really, most of my money right now is going to book boxes and special editions. That's where I'm prioritizing buying books or books that I have read and I have loved. I am doing so good at my money spending, so this feels distraught for me that I went and bought it because I was loving it so much. Like I felt the need to own it in that first part, to then be bamboozled by what this book is when we get to part 2 and we completely follow a different type of character. The character we do follow in this is someone who made a decision that I personally disliked in part 1, and so I think that also makes it really hard for me to follow her because like I don't really want to cheer for her to win because I was cheering for the other person. This character is just kind of boring. I feel like we picked the worst POV to follow. I truly wish we were alternating because I have POVs in this that I would be more interested in seeing their trials. The 2 males that are in the trial that we talk about a lot, I think I would be very, very much interested in. I also would be interested in another female POV, but I honestly can't really keep a lot of people straight in this. I know who Kane is. He's the one I would like a POV for, and I know who Ruko is, who's another person I'd like a POV for. And I think I know who Gaida is, maybe? I don't know, actually. I thought I did, but sometimes I'm like, wait, I think I have her and another character mixed up. I really wish this was alternating POVs. I don't mind the POV I'm in at some moments. I like some of her quirks. I like the fact that she's a know-it-all and she has to like say everything. Like if you ask her a question and she knows the answer, she cannot keep it to herself. And I think that that is a very interesting character, one that I haven't seen all too much. And I think it also represents people like that who have a struggle with not saying the first thing that comes to their mind or the like abruptness of knowing everything, you know? Like I feel like I like seeing that representation. I watched a show this year called High Potential that had a similar aspect. This woman was so smart and she just like couldn't help but notice everything. She faced a lot of prejudice because of that. I felt like the show did a really good job of portraying that and portraying how she's not just that, and I'm interested to see that happen in The Raven Scholar and see how she like adapts and handles this as well. But I'm also just kind of bored. I find her inner monologue just very boring, and like I I don't love the humor. I saw a lot of reviews saying this was humorful, but I'm like, where? I feel like I don't get it. The other thing I hate, is the random ass narrator that happens sometimes. I hate those so much. Honestly, I'm ranting. I should probably DNF this, but I do want to give it to 50% so that I can count it for Escape the Readathon. I really dislike books that aren't either fully single or fully multi. I think something like this, where we just like randomly swap to a different POV, pisses me off because it feels lazy. It is not technically lazy. It is an author's choice to do that. So like, it's rude of me to say it's lazy. It's not lazy, but it just like drives me up a wall. I'm like, what could you have not said in the POV we're actually following that you had to switch this one POV for like one chapter out of 10? Or make it completely multi-POV and have us like constantly swapping. I prefer books that follow multiple characters and we rotate through their 3 POVs or 4 POVs over and over again. That's my preferred multi-POV type story. Or I like a single POV story, and this doesn't do either of those. It just like randomly hops into characters, and that irks me so much. I just like think that you couldn't explain your thoughts well enough within the character you chose, so you have to jump to another character. So that is not working for me. Oh god. I don't really know. Should I DNF this? I'm gonna keep going. I'm at 40%. I am intrigued by some of the trials and elements of that. So we're gonna keep going for a little bit, but I don't think this is going to be a win for me. Maybe a 3-star, but definitely not a 5-star in my future. Good morning. I need to make myself a coffee still. Sorry, I'm getting comfortable as I feel like I'm gonna clock in for work and talk to you guys quite a bit. First off, today I have to film my Kerplunk pulls. My next TBR swap is with Brie from 4 Paws in a Book. So I need to pull some books for her, and I'm very excited. I don't know what I'm giving her yet, and that's kind of stressful. When I don't have an idea of what to give someone, that really stresses me out, because like the pulls will really matter versus like when I did Lexi, I was like forcing things in, you know? Book updates, The Raven Scholar. I'm DNFing this. I got 57% into this and I realized I'm just listening to listen. I don't actually care. I don't even know what's happening most of the time. I'm definitely not engaged in this story. And like obviously when you're reading a story, you want to be like engaged and following along, and truly I could zone out and not give 2 craps about what's going on in the story when I pick it back up. So I think that's a sign I should DNF it. I'm very angry. I was really just pushing through because I had just bought this and all the hype and everything. I think like I'm like the only person I know who hasn't liked this book, but I do have the receipt, and if I have time before I go away, I would like to return it. I'm trying to be better at my money, and that requires returning things. I don't like to return things. I don't know why. It just makes me feel so awkward. It's just been something that I've never really done, and so like I need to get over it because like my money obviously is worth money to me, and I'm trying to save it and trying to be better with it. So I do really need to go return this, but I do leave for Mexico this week, so I'm a little bit tight on my schedule right now. So I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but I should make it a priority. Obviously buying books is a privilege, and I do have the privilege of having money to do so, but I do not need to be wasting my money. This one did remind me of The Mask of Mirrors. If you liked that series, I don't think they're anything alike, but for some reason my feelings, my thoughts, and like just the narrative tone reminded me of Mask of Mirrors quite a bit. So I would say if you like that series, pick this one up. I personally think there was a lot of things I didn't like. I think I already discussed like the changing of POVs, the random Raven POV. The world building is a lot, and I didn't really feel like it was well developed, and just the swap in the POV, like I wanted to follow the POV at the beginning, and when we swapped POVs, like I just didn't like this POV. Also, I read a review and she's apparently 30. Did not read 30 to me. I thought she was like 26 maybe, but also I guess I'm almost 30. Age is but a number. But yeah, I'm sad this didn't work for me. Not worth the hype to me, but if you like anything that I've complained about, pick this one up. But I did start TikTok's next hyped book, and when it blows up, I know I have to read it. I don't always know I'm going to like it, but I know I have to read it. I've definitely had some hits. I've definitely had some losses by listening to TikTok. This one, however, I think is going to be a hit because I'm only 40 pages in and I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm gonna go sit on my couch downstairs and read it all day long after I finish filming what I need to film. It's Direbound. The first chapters of this, the writing really hooked me. The writing feels very natural to me. It's really working with my brain. I really like the writing. It doesn't feel like stunted or too much dialogue. It feels like an equal amount of dialogue to description and plot and world building. We're essentially following our main character who's kind of raising her little sister because her mom has some sort of dementia, Alzheimer's, something like that. And in order to meet ends meet, she has been training her life and been fighting in the pits to get some money. When our main character's little sister is taken by the people that her country's in war with, she says enough is enough and she goes to train to be one of the king's elite soldiers. These elite soldiers end up having to do a test into the Great Wild to bond with a dire wolf, which are these gigantic wolves, and they ride upon them. They say like a little pup of a dire wolf is like the size of a horse in this. I love that. I love the concept of that. Like, I'm just picturing these soldiers with these bonded dire wolves. We have seen a glimpse of the dire bound at one point, and I didn't like what I saw, but I also liked what I saw. So I'm very interested. At this point, her sister has just been kidnapped for me, and we're not really at the training academy or anything like that. So I'm very, very interested to see how I feel when I get there. I'm very interested in that setup and that plot line. I also so far really do like the characters, and I'm a little bit scared because there is a love interest that's already been shown to us, and I kind of like him, and that's kind of rare for me to like the like friends to lover aspect. But obviously I don't think that he's endgame, and so I'm like, oh god, why do I like this man? I don't like to like the one that's not endgame, especially because in stories like this there's normally a betrayal that's gonna happen, you know? Definitely intrigued. I really want to keep reading. Also, this one I ended up submitting it for required read for Escape the Readathon, as I did have an ALC copy that I needed to listen to. Escape the Readathon is a month-long competitive team-based readathon this month that I am co-hosting. I am on Team Hackers. I'm co-hosting with the lovely Once Upon a Bookish Steph. Lexi, Books of Lexi, you know her well, she's my dearest friend, is the creator of this readathon, and it's a lot of fun. And essentially we're on a cruise this year and we're trapped and we have to unlock rooms and play games in order to be the first team off the cruise, and the rest of the teams will all be stuck on the cruise for eternity, so you don't want to be stuck. Although the cruise is kind of fun. We've done a lot of fun games, so maybe I do want to be stuck. Anyways, I'll leave Lexi's announcement because it's better explained in there. You can still join at the time of watching this video, and I would love to have you on Team Hackers, and I'll be talking about where my reads go while I'm in this video. I don't think I told you Shield of Sparrows did go to a prompt. It went to genre blend. I think I put it to the bar. Did I stay up a little bit too late reading last night? Yes, yes I did. I'm about 40% through Dire Bound and I'm really having a great time with this one. Is it predictable? Yes. Did I see twists coming? Also no, just because I think books like this really get me. I think books like Fourth Wing, Silver Elite, things like that, because they're so much fun that sometimes I'm distracted from the obvious twists because I'm just so invested into the story itself, and I'm just like ripping through the pages and like having the best time. That's why I think books like this that are like what I would call a fun time read, nothing like groundbreaking, can be some of my favorites, just because I feel like I just get lost in their pages and like my brain almost is just like just vibes, good time, only 5 stars are vibes, we know that. Definitely very excited about this one and how much I'm liking it. It truly is Fourth Wing but with wolves, and I think a little grittier. Definitely there's like the whole concept in Fourth Wing where like a rider without its dragon is dead, you know? But in this one, truly it's taken to another level, because once you're bonded to a dire wolf, the only thing to break that bond is death, and it's death of both of you. And also the wolves, it's like a pack mentality, and so the wolves don't like weakness and they are willing to kill their own in order to get rid of the weakness in the pack, and our main character is currently that weakness. The only thing is that her wolf is very, very strong, so people are a little bit scared scared of her wolf. And I really like the brutality of this training academy. I think I saw somewhere that it was comped to Hunger Games, and I think I understand that comp just in the brutality of the world and the ruling elitism of the world, and how that is affecting our main character, who is a commoner at birth, and most of the people who end up bound to dire bound are nepo babies. So their parents and their grandparents and their grandparents' parents have all been dire wolf bonded, and so they've been raised in this society and definitely have like a head start to the commoners who end up making it bound. I think that it's a very interesting discussion and conversation. It definitely isn't like the Hunger Games in any other aspects besides, I feel like, power corruption and like the discussion of power and elitism and things like that. And those are themes that I absolutely love in my books. I also think Fourth Wing 100% discusses those things. Like all of these, which are like my all-time favorite books, fit this discussion, and they really dive into what it means when people have power and they let the power go to their head, and what it means for the lower classes, because there will always be a lower class at this point, and what a rebellion stands for and things like that. And I think Direbound is really going to do that as well. I'm really excited for it. I think, yes, it's predictable, it's fun, but also I think Fourth Wing is predictable and it's fun, but it dives deep into a lot of these conversations, and it's why it's been a favorite series of mine. Fireborn is YA. It's definitely an easy read, but I've never read a book that is so deep into these discussions as Fireborn, and I'm really, really, really hoping that Direbound also dives into these. At this point, the romance is light, and I'm truly think I'm rooting for the wrong guy, and I think I know why I'm rooting for the wrong guy, and I think I know the twist, but I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm going to be distracted by it. I'm just gonna ignore it for the time being because I would like to root for him. If the guy that I'm rooting for is not Endgame, I'd like there to be a little bit more chemistry with the person who I think is Endgame, but also I'm living up the hatred and things like that, and I just like learning about the world. Is it a little bit long? Maybe, but I'm having a great time. The problem is that today, the next season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives came out, and how am I supposed to read when I want to binge that? I also ordered a couple new necklaces for Mexico because I have to wear a dress, and my dress is like a little bit chest open, and so I needed some necklaces. So I think I'm gonna layer these, and this one's just like a chain, and then this one just has like 2 stars on it, and I think that they are very cute. So that's my update. I'm gonna go probably do some TV sprints so that I get TV in and reading in. I'm 80% in. I have about 2 hours left of reading time according to my Kindle, which can be right and can be wrong. I just never really know. It depends how distracted I get. I'm also on episode 9 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Loving that. Binging through that. This season is even crazier than last season, and also they cannot make me hate Demi. I know they're trying to. It's really funny. I watch so much reality TV that I saw the shift. I saw that like Jen left the show and they were making her the villain, and so when she left they panicked and they needed another villain, and that's how we get the latter half. If Jen had not left the show, she would have been the villain for the whole season, and I don't think Demi would have gotten this cut, and I think she would have still been a fan favorite, but I think that next season she would have been the villain. If I know anything from reality TV, is that you cannot be the villain for more than like 2 seasons, and you also can't be the hero for that many seasons either. There definitely is a shifting of opinions that has to happen to keep the show interesting, and they don't want anyone to not want to be on the show. It's why we're seeing Whitney in a better light this season, is she got such a bad take last season that the show is trying to give her a better take. These are produced. At the end of the day, these are produced shows. I still love them. I still love seeing the craziness and the drama, and I still love seeing the reality of women's lives and things like that. I think that this show introduces us to an aspect of Mormon culture that not a lot of us have seen. Obviously, not all Mormon culture is like this. A lot of it probably isn't, but there is something to be said about what these women are going through, even if it's a little bit more dramatic for the show. I think I've seen some of the most heartbreaking moments. I've seen some of the most women power moments on reality TV. I've witnessed a lot. Reality TV can be so real, even though it can also be so fake. And I think knowing both of those things makes it more interesting for me. Knowing and understanding how it's produced and those moments has me aware of what those moments are. Since I watched so many, I can definitely point out being like, oh, that's produced. Oh, that's produced. Yeah, they didn't say that. That's out of context. If you don't see someone's mouth moving, it might have been put over top. Sometimes they do this and they'll show like the back of someone's head while they're speaking and you hear their voice. Sometimes those lines are changed. They make them record them. Knowing all these things definitely makes reality TV feel more fake, but it also can then pinpoint the real stuff, like the real things. And I think I love those moments and I live for those moments. Anyways, tangent about reality TV. If you're not watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, you must. It's so good. I also now want a dirty soda, so I might have to make myself one. But back to Diary Bound, I did fly through this. I do think around 60% there's something that happens that I didn't love. It just felt too rushed and really to move the plot forward in a certain aspect, but I think it could have been done in a way that wasn't so rushed and didn't feel so forced. It's very much just like, this is how it is, you're this now, and I didn't love that part. I definitely think it could have been done in a much more natural way and had the same impact. I don't love how that turning point was done, but I do love what it's given us through that turning point. I do want this book to dive a little bit deeper, I think, than it is. It's feeling a little bit surface level fun for me, and I do enjoy that, and I'm having a great time, but I do just want it to dig just a little bit deeper into some of the societal things, and I think it can. I think it has the potential to. I just think maybe in book 1 it's not going to get there, which is also fine, and I'm willing to give it more books. I don't think it's the 5-star I thought it was. I think it's a 4-star. I'm still having such a good time, and I'm intrigued to see the actual endgame romance really come to bloom. I'm still pretending this is going to be a why choose when I have a feeling it's not. But a girl can hope, right? A girl can hope. Other than that, I don't have a lot of updates, and I will update you when I'm done. Honestly, I probably look very like orange and gross. I have self-tanner on for Mexico. I leave in 10 hours or something. And so I have to wash the like bronzer aspect of it off still. But last night I finished Diary Bound, and if you have not been following me on Instagram, you definitely should, because I've been screaming about all my favorite books on Instagram first. Definitely Instagram has been seeing them first, and then you guys get like my full thoughts on a book. Because last time I left you off, I said it wasn't gonna be 5 stars. And then I finished this and I went, holy cow, that's a 5-star. I love when a book can really surprise me in that ending. I feel like there were dips to this in things I didn't necessarily love as much, but at the end of the day, I just flew through this, and the pages really were turning themselves, and I loved the wrap up of this, and I loved what it means for book 2 specifically. Like, I cannot wait to get my hands on book 2. Do I think our main character was dumb? Yes. She reminds me of the Spark of the Everflame MC, but I liked her more than I liked the Spark of the Everflame MC, although she grows on me in the 2nd and 3rd book. So I'm also hoping this character will really grow on me in the 2nd and 3rd book. Was this predictable? Yes. Was it also a hell of a good time? Yes. And I feel like that's all I need in my life. As I said, if you're a fan of Fourth Wing, this is really going to remind you in a lot of ways of Fourth Wing. I really do see the comparisons, but I also feel like it stands on its own. And I don't think Fourth Wing, although people will be shooketh to hear this, I don't think Fourth Wing is the most unique thing to ever be done. I've seen almost everything in Fourth Wing in another story before. That doesn't make Fourth Wing any less good. I also don't think that because I saw the similarities to this as Fourth Wing, that makes this any less good. Like, this is still equally amazing by itself. And I think that if Fourth Wing hadn't just like blown up, people would have been eating this up sooner rather than later. I'm still saying eat it up sooner. Like, get it now. Like, this is going to be huge. It's already huge. It's blowing up on TikTok for a reason. I literally need book 2. I think it comes out in July, so I don't have to wait long. I'm still processing what went down in this book. Like, honestly, still processing. And like the reveals, I knew some of them, but I still like loved to see it. I still loved to see it. I need more people to read this so I can scream about it to other people, because like what this means for like the slow burn aspect of next book, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to our main character. She deserves it. Both of them deserve it. Oh my god, this is so good. Chef's kiss. I do think at the end of this vlog that hyped books did get my approval, because I approve of both of these books and think that everyone should be reading them. The hyped fantasy was a no for me, but I think it could still be a yes for a lot of people, and I'm not actually in my like non-romantasy era yet. I kind of want to get into it slowly, but I just like, after reading these surrounding this, like there's a reason I love these. They're just so addicting. Read them as soon as possible. Get your hands on them. Check them out from the library. Whatever you have to do. I loved both of these, and I hope that more people love them just as much as me. This was good. Both very different reads. Like, more unique, more fun, but also gritty. Both were gritty. This one has more romance. This is very light on the romantasy aspect at this moment in time. Well, the true romantasy aspect. Okay, well, I gotta go pack my bags. I leave for Mexico in T-minus I don't know how long. So I will see you guys shortly after my vacation. And I have to snuggle her because I won't get to see her for 5 days. If you miss me in the meantime, I will leave a couple videos on the screen for you to check out. Leave me a wolf emoji if you made it all the way to the end of this video, and have yourselves a remarkable day.